You're going to be gone for how long every month? We sat down for this romantic date night dinner only 5 minutes ago, and our first conversation is already steering toward a fight. I take another swig of my wine while considering my next sentence. And by sentence, I don't mean the words flowing from my mouth. I'm talking about a judgment, a conviction. What I say next will determine whether I'm sleeping in our bed, on the couch, or underground in a wooden box. You can't be out of town 2 weeks a month. Do you expect me to do everything at home myself plus do my own work? This is unacceptable. No way. Whoops, I'm destined for marital death row now. All my wife Kathy wants to do is reinforce our crumbling family finances and to restart her thriving career, a meaningful profession she sacrificed at the altar of our toddler son 2 years prior. But I'm not thinking about any of that. I'm only worried about myself. How will her potential new job affect my life, my schedule? I should know better. Kathy always supports my entrepreneurial adventures, even when the bottom line is dripping in red. She deserves the same spousal seal of approval, but I don't give it to her. Instead, I do the opposite, lighting her promising job application on fire and chucking it out the window. Why am I so selfish sometimes, many times, with, well, my time? God knows I'm greedy with the slots in my calendar, and He's going to help me loosen my tight grip on each and every minute. But first, I need to learn from my mistakes by acting like an idiot. I became an entrepreneur 12 plus years ago for one simple reason: freedom. I must command full control over my schedule. No boss is going to tell me what to do. I get up when I want, I work when I want, I exercise when I want, I eat what I want, I do whatever I want, when I want. These decisions are mine to make. I sacrificed many years of kid-free fun in my 20s to have this daily blessing. And now, I expect my sovereign way of life. I've lived it since 2011. Even after we married, I continued to reign over each of my hours like a meticulous despot, pulling on the various strings of his political puppets. Because I could. Kathy had her own career, her own pursuits, and then we reconnected on nights and weekends. We led very driven, self-focused lives. Then, it happened. Zach was born, our only child. He changed our schedules drastically. Our sleep also changed, and his diapers were changed. It seemed like every 5 minutes. But this was all okay, because he was the cutest, sweetest little human being we ever saw. Don't all parents say this? After 3 months of maternity leave, Zach was handed off to trusted childcare and Kathy went back to work. Now we were in a family rhythm, a familiar routine we could all tolerate, especially me. My personal schedule had been fully restored from the demanding responsibilities of fatherhood. I still worked when I wanted, exercised when I wanted, you know the drill. We lived this two-income life until Zach hit age 2, and we made a big family decision. Kathy would stay home with Zach. My business was doing well enough where we could live on my income alone. This was a huge blessing for all of us. Zach would have precious one-on-one time with his mommy every day, and Kathy was excited and ready for something new. But she also battled a fierce, conflicting feeling that was impossible for her to ignore: sacrifice. She's a career woman who draws fulfillment and purpose from her vocation. If you could have put her under a spiritual x-ray, you would have seen she was bound by a rope, the taut, thick cord of an internal tug-of-war. Career pulled on one side, motherhood on the other. It was an epic battle between two passions, two desires, two callings. Each side jerked and pulled on the single string attached to her heart. Career, motherhood, money, memories, promotions, hugs and kisses. Then with one mighty final tug, it was over. Motherhood won, at least for the moment. She quit her thriving job of 8 years to stay home with Zach. Her decision was difficult, but I think it was a good one. Proven by the 12,000 pictures of precious mommy memories that overloaded her iPhone, almost to the point of failure. Their legendary adventures at kids' museums and rowdy bounce houses. Their many playdates at local parks with other moms and kids. Their splashing and swimming all summer long at our community pool. This devoted mom-son tandem was like an indivisible number. You ain't dividing them unless you want to make a mess. Until I did just that. I made a mess. I accidentally caused a massive business problem. A problem that would shrink her income all the way to zero. And I didn't know how long it would last. 2 weeks, 3 months, 1 year? At least I was prepared for this financial calamity. You always need a cushion of cash when you live that entrepreneur life. But fact is still fact. We needed some family cash flow before we burned through every cent we had. So I made the big ask of Kathy. Would she go back to work? She wasn't ready yet, but she was willing to do it. There was, although, one sizable hurdle she would need to leap first. She works in a very specific medical niche. You can't find a job in 5 minutes. It takes time and a heap of self-promotion. She called old colleagues, updated her LinkedIn profile, refreshed her resume, and started knocking on doors. Her figurative knuckles were bruised and bloodied from all the knocking she did for our family. It took about 5 months, but she was now a final candidate for a new role. She was prepared to attack this exciting pursuit with all the tenacity and commitment she brings to each of her meaningful endeavors, whether it be our marriage, motherhood, or her next career move. And she wanted to tell me all about it on date night. We each scoot into a side of our booth at the bustling restaurant. Every table is packed with hungry patrons, drinking their drinks, eating their eats, laughing their laughs, ordering their orders. It seems you can say whatever you want, and no one outside your table can decipher the message. Your words will be tossed into this auditory blender, disappearing into the mixture of multiple conversations all happening at once. The server brings us our 2 glasses of red wine, each filled to the brim and with no complaints from us. Kathy takes her first sip, puts down her glass, looks into my eyes and says, "So I think I might have a new job." "That's great news," I say. "What is it?" "Well, it's the same type of job I was doing before, but the territory is bigger, so I'd have to travel more than usual." "How much more?" I ask, while trying to maintain my tone of excitement. "I would be gone 2 to 3 weeks each month." Panic mode activated. "You can't be out of town 2 weeks a month. Do you expect me to do everything at home myself, plus do my own work? This is unacceptable. No way. It's going to massively screw up my schedule." The couple one table over glances our way without turning their heads. Dang, they can still hear us. Well, they can hear me. I guess my word blender theory is a bust. Poof! The server also decides to snap back into existence for her order right during this pivotal moment of her evening. Does she side hustle as a magician or something? "Please give us a few more minutes," we say in unison so our spirited chat can continue. Poof again, the server disappears. "Hold on a minute," Kathy replies to my fiery reaction. "You asked me to find a job again. I've been applying all over the place for months, and this opportunity finally popped up. I wasn't ready to work outside of our house yet. I wanted to stay with Zach longer, but I was willing to do it because our family needed it. Now you're telling me to not take this job because it's going to screw up your daily routine? Ryan, you're being completely selfish." Ouch. She's right. I am being selfish, and unsupportive, and an idiot. She's making sacrifices for our family, and I'm not willing to do the same. I'm only focused on myself, and how these changes will affect me. She found a viable job opportunity that we should discuss without me being instantly freaked out. "I'm sorry, babe, you're right. You know how self-absorbed I can be about my schedule. I'm working on it." And I continue to work on it. I battled a few more bouts of selfishness while she sought this new job. Ironically, she didn't get it, but she did get more quality time with Zach. I was also able to solve my big business blunder and restore my income. Thank God. We stuck with the status quo for another couple years, until Zach turned 6 and started full-time kindergarten. Now he's gone all day long, which leads to a very bored mommy. Those bored, career-oriented moms tend to scroll around on LinkedIn a lot, seeking that next vocational challenge. Kathy sees a recruiting ad. It's pitching a role that sounds perfect for her, the next shiny rung up the corporate ladder. She clicks, she submits her resume, she waits. The recruiter responds, they talk, she applies, she interviews 4 different times. And presto, she just nailed down her new gig last month. Now we're all adjusting to this new season of our family life, together, as a team. Kathy brings Zach to school every morning, I pick him up in the afternoon. She cooks dinner, I do dishes. Well, Zach adapts to his mom's new schedule consisting of more than play dates in his next snack time. All 3 of us need more flexibility, more compromise, more sacrifice and love. Kathy is still more naturally flexible with her schedule than I am. I can still be selfish with my time when our family calendar doesn't align with my personal goals. But I'm improving, the selfishness being ever so slowly chipped away from my heart. It's not me hammering though. I can't remove this rotten, self-absorbed tendency of my own. It's only Jesus. He's the stone-cutting heart surgeon I need, and we all need. As it is written, there is no one righteous, not even one. There is no one who understands. There is no one who seeks God. All have turned away. They have together become worthless. There is no one who does good, not even one. Their throats are open graves. Their tongues practice deceit. The poison of vipers is on their lips. Their mouths are full of cursing and bitterness. Their feet are swift to shed blood. Ruin and misery mark their ways, and the way of peace they do not know. Romans 3:10-17. We all struggle with some sort of selfishness. On a scale of 1 to 10, every believer can hit double digits, at least sometimes. Each of us holds a resource from God we don't like to share. For me, it's my time. For you, it might be money. It might be your talents. It might be your love. Whatever it is, God calls us to be uncommonly generous with all of it, because He created it all. Everything in existence comes from Him and through Him. In His grace and goodwill, our Heavenly Father has loaned our blessings to us. We don't own them. We may have worked for some, but we would have nothing, including life itself, if it were not for our unselfish Lord opening His mighty hand to give us His good gifts. Now God expects us to extend His grace, His charitableness, His sacrifice to others. But we can't do this until we first deny ourselves. We must drag our own crosses through the scorching, scraping sands of life, just as Jesus did. Then Jesus told His disciples, "If anyone wants to come after me, he must deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. For whoever wants to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will find it." Matthew 16:24-25. Jesus knows our struggle. He lived a lowly human life, as a volunteer. In heaven, He had more power, more prestige, more rights to lose than all beings in the universe combined. He's God in the flesh, Son of the Most High, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords. He existed before existence existed. And He came here to lay it all down, at the foot of the cross, for us, so we can share in His eternal life with Him, as brothers, as sisters, as unrightful heirs to His heavenly throne. Jesus Christ is the antithesis of selfishness, the cure for greed. He set us free from ourselves, from the inborn sin that flows in our veins. Now we can serve others in His holy name, no matter the cost, no matter the sacrifice. Even when your smart, dedicated wife lands a new job that might screw up your schedule. Deny yourself, pick up your cross, live as Christ wants you to live. It starts by asking Him one simple question: Lord, will you help me? I'm now asking Him this question every single day. Congrats on your new job, Kathy.